in the pale morning light of the northwestern mountains of Vietnam, when mist still clings to wooden stilt houses and the forest seems to hold its breath, a face slowly emerges from the shadows, wrinkled by time, silent, marked with dark lines carved deep into the chin. To an outsider, they may look like simple tattoos, faded patterns left behind by age. But for the Mang people, these lines carry a far heavier meaning. They are believed to decide whether a soul will be recognized or rejected after death. In this belief, a human life doesn't end with the final breath. Death is only a crossing. And these lines are meant to ensure that the crossing leads home. Vietnam, sacred trails. Hidden deep in the highlands of Lai Chau, the Mang are one of the smallest ethnic communities in Vietnam. With only a few thousand people remaining, their villages are scattered across steep mountains and narrow valleys. Their language is fragile, their traditions vulnerable. Among these traditions, chin tattooing stands apart, both visually and spiritually. According to oral histories passed down through generations, the practice began during a time of fear and flight. Long ago, Mang ancestors were forced to flee invading forces advancing from the north. During these chaotic migrations, women were especially vulnerable. To avoid capture, they marked their faces, deliberately altering their appearance to make themselves undesirable. What began as a desperate act of survival was never intended to be beautiful. Yet, as danger slowly receded into memory, the markings remained. Over generations, their meaning shifted. The tattoos transformed from symbols of fear into symbols of identity. They became a declaration, not only to others, but to the self. This is who I am. This is where I belong. In life, chin tattoos distinguished the Mang from neighboring groups. In death, they served an even deeper purpose, identifying the soul as part of the ancestral lineage. What began as a response to violence gradually became a sacred marker of belonging. For the Mang, chin tattooing was never merely aesthetic. It was a ritual bound tightly to belief and to the afterlife. Before any tattooing could begin, spiritual permission was required. Offerings were prepared. Ancestral altars were cleaned. Shamans performed rituals to call the soul and ask consent from spirits and ancestors alike. Without this approval, tattooing was believed to invite misfortune, not only for the woman but for her entire family. The act itself was long and painful. Ink was made from kitchen ash mixed with forest honey and the juice of special leaves, believed to protect the skin and prevent infection. Bamboo needles or sharpened metal tips were dipped into the dark mixture and pressed repeatedly into the flesh. The process could last for hours. Throughout the ritual, the girl was forbidden to cry. Enduring pain in silence was considered proof of strength, maturity, and readiness for adult life. Tears were not simply weakness. They were believed to bring bad luck. Pain, in this context, was not accidental. It was a necessary passage. Every chin tattoo followed a strict ancestral design, unchanged for generations. 2 vertical lines rising along the chin symbolized the upper sky realm, the domain of higher spirits. 2 horizontal lines near the mouth represented the world of humans, where daily life unfolds. The empty spaces below marked the underworld and the realm beneath water. Unseen worlds believed to influence human fate. At the top of the design, fan-shaped lines formed a spiritual charm, believed to confuse malevolent spirits and prevent them from following or stealing the soul. In this worldview, the human face became a cosmic map, a miniature universe etched into skin. Elderly women still remember the meaning behind these marks. One recalls that in the past, not every girl was allowed to be tattooed. Only those who had reached maturity and received signs through dreams or spiritual omens could undergo the ritual. The tattoos, she says, were protection. Within Mang cosmology, the world is crowded with unseen forces. Forests are inhabited, rivers are watched, storms carry intention. On stormy nights, spirits were believed to roam freely, searching for vulnerable souls. Those without markings were said to be at risk. In this sense, chin tattoos functioned as spiritual armor, especially for women. They were not symbolic gestures, but practical defenses against a dangerous and unpredictable unseen world. Protection from the supernatural was as essential as protection from hunger, illness, or war. These beliefs are rarely recorded in modern ethnographic studies, yet they reveal a worldview where the boundary between the human and the spiritual was thin and constantly crossed. Today, this ancient practice stands on the edge of disappearance. Younger generations no longer continue the tradition. The pain, the stigma, and the pressures of modern life have pushed chin tattooing toward extinction. Formal education, migration, and integration into wider society have reshaped values. What was once essential for spiritual survival is now often seen as unnecessary or even undesirable. The women who still carry these markings can now be counted on one hand. When they are gone, the tradition may vanish with them. As the sun sets behind the mountains and smoke rises gently from the village, the tattoos remain for now. Chin tattoos of the Mang are not merely cultural remnants. They are history carved into flesh, belief etched into skin. They remind us that traditions do not disappear all at once. They fade quietly, one face at a time, until an entire way of understanding life, death, and where a soul belongs disappears with them.